AEW Collision draws the best viewership numbers since the premiere episode for last week's episode, featuring the big AEW World Tag Team Championship main event between FTR and Better Than You, Baby. Details on that, plus over 77,000 tickets have been distributed for AEW All In at Wembley Stadium, with just a few thousand tickets remaining before they break the all-time wrestling attendance record, beating WrestleMania 32 in Arlington, Texas. Also an update on the ratings for AEW Rampage Friday nights on TNT. Andrade El Idolo wants to face off against Malachi Black at AEW All In at Wembley Stadium, and Samoa Joe reacts to being edited out of the Twisted Metal commercial that aired during Monday Night Raw last night. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about the ratings for this week's edition of AEW Collision on TNT, and it's very good news for All Elite Wrestling for their Saturday night's primetime live wrestling show, because Saturday night's AEW Collision averaged 739,000 viewers on TNT, which is up 19.6% from the previous week. In addition to that, it's the highest audience total for the show since the premiere episode on June 17. Collision drew a 0.27 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which was also up 50% from last week. That's also the best number the show has done since the 0.31 rating it drew for the premiere. So the best numbers for both total viewership and the key demographic since the premiere episode from the United Center in June. Now, Collision as well did have strong competition on Saturday too. Collision went head to head with the UFC 291 prelims, which averaged more than 1 million viewers and drew a 0.30 rating on ABC. The prelims also aired on ESPN and ESPN+. Collision had the MLB on Fox as direct competition as well. The baseball game averaged more than 2 million viewers and drew a 0.35 rating in the 18 to 49. So the competition was much tougher than it has been of recent dates. Now, the biggest increase for Collision came with men aged 18 to 34, which were up 180.6% from the last week. Let me say that again, 180.6% from last week. It's Collision's best viewership in that demo since the premiere episode 2. Collision, though, was actually down 61.3% with females in that same age group, which is the only demo the show had any decrease in. So certainly, again, strong numbers for AEW, particularly when it comes to the Saturday night show, which is always going to be difficult, particularly when it comes to this, particularly when it comes to the competition that's coming up later on this year. But what are your thoughts on these numbers? What are your thoughts when it comes to the sheer improvement we've saw from last week? And why do you think that improvement is? Do you think it's because of CM Punk and Ricky Stark's feud? Do you think it's because of the buzz of CM Punk spray painting the X? Or more likely, is it because of that heavily hyped main event between FTR and Adam Cole and MJF for the AEW World Tag Team Championships? And is it even more evidence that this storyline between MJF and Adam Cole as best friends and future opponents seemingly is clearly working? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comments section below. Now, of course, AEW Collision maybe was the first step on the road to AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium later on this month. And an update now when it comes to the tickets distributed for AEW's biggest event in company history. And in the latest update on AEW All In, WrestleTix has reported that 77,470 tickets have been distributed for the major show, and London's Wembley Stadium is now set up to hold 84,048 fans. This leaves 6,578 tickets available for AEW All In, with 1,517 tickets available for the event through resale sites. AEW All In was initially set up for 87,825 fans, but the number of tickets available has been reduced by 3,000 for an unknown reason. The latest figures mean, though, that All Elite Wrestling are only 3,230 tickets away from breaking the all-time attendance record for a paid pro wrestling event by 2016's WWE WrestleMania 32. Now, 80,709 fans came through the turnstiles at Arlington's AT&T TMT Stadium for WWE's biggest show of the year. Then, of course, the number was inflated. Vince McMahon himself said on media calls and earnings calls afterwards that the attendance figure that they used was literally every single person inside the stadium, paid and non-paid that evening. But the actual number when it comes to SEC filings was actually 80,709. So as I mentioned, All Elite Wrestling are only 3,230 tickets away from breaking that all-time wrestling attendance record for a paid pro wrestling event. The question is, can they do it? Well, it has already been confirmed that AEW All In will be the promotion's biggest ever show, and it will take place on August 27 over a bank holiday weekend in the United Kingdom. As of right now, at the time of recording this video, no matches have been announced for All In as of yet, and there has still been no official announcement from AEW about how and where the show is going to air in the UK and United States. Hopefully we'll get an update on that this week, but what are your thoughts on that number? Can AEW break that all-time paid wrestling attendance record? Are they going to do that once a match or several matches have been announced? The one match we do know is kind of rumored is Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay, but apart from that, that's it. Once the main event's announced, are we going to then break records? Are we going to see AEW possibly sell even more tickets than even the setup is allocating for? Could we see a sellout of over 90,000 fans inside Wembley Stadium? Let me know your thoughts about that. Well, they're certainly doing a lot of media for it over here in the UK at the moment. Paul White, formerly known as The Big Show, did the media rounds in the UK last week, and AEW star and Director of Business Development Jeff Jarrett went across the pond on Monday for a media tour to promote AEW All In at Wembley Stadium, as I mentioned. According to several tweets Jarrett put out on Monday, he spoke to a number of outlets, including the Daily Star, Cultaholic, BBC Sounds, and Wrestle Talk. Jarrett also participated in an interview with TalkSport, which included former Impact Wrestling star Grado. During their, it must be said, in-character exchange caught on camera, Grado stated that he would love to compete at Wembley. However, his leotard has been gathering dust. He then said that Jarrett reminded him of a person who does his laundry. Naturally, Double J didn't take too kindly to that remark and decided to slap Grado before smashing a guitar over his head. Jarrett stated, quote, "I think that made the highlight reel," to conclude the segment. Jeff Jarrett, again, certainly knowing how to get people's attention when it comes to All In at Wembley Stadium later on this month. As I mentioned, AEW has yet to announce any matches for their London debut on August 27, so it remains to be seen what role Jarrett will play on the card itself, but it's already certainly the biggest show AEW has ever put on since officially launching in 2019. Meanwhile, fans around the world who won't be in attendance are still waiting to hear how the event can be viewed from home. The latest update was that All In will air on pay-per-view platforms, despite All Out airing on pay-per-view just 1 week later. We do have a match for All Out already announced. That's Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus, or whoever is the TNT champion at the time for the TNT championship. But as far as AEW All In just yet, no matches and no way how to watch. But hopefully, again, we'll get an update on that very soon. Once we do, we'll let you know in a future video, of course. And we spoke about the ratings for AEW Collision. Let's talk about the ratings for AEW Rampage on Friday. And in comparison, on the same network, it's not looking as good. Friday night's AEW Rampage averaged 324,000 viewers on TNT, down 21.9% from the previous week's Royal Rampage episode. It's the second lowest audience total for the show since June 9. Rampage drew a 0.10 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is down 9.1% from last week too. That ties several other episodes for the lowest 18 to 49 demo rating Rampage has drawn in its normal Friday time slot in 2023. As compared to the same week in 2022, Rampage was down 13.6% in overall viewers and down 9.1% in the 18 to 49 demo. Rampage's monthly average for July was 354,000 viewers and a 0.1075 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. That's down from the 430,400 average viewers and a 0.146 rating in the 18 to 49 from 1 year ago this month. Declines of 17.8% and 26.4% respectively. Again, not looking very strong when it comes to the rating for Rampage. The question is, why is that the case? Is it just the case of because of the launch of AEW Collision, people just don't care anymore about Rampage? Is it in connection of having a bad time slot and also being a tape show? And how does AEW recover this show, if it's even possible? What should they do with Rampage? Or do they just have to accept that these are the numbers for the show now? It's always going to struggle. It's always going to do bad numbers. And there's nothing at this point that AEW can do about it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Rampage in the comment section below. Now, we spoke about AEW All In, and one match that might be taking place at the event could be Andrade El Idolo, who has his mask back, against Malachi Black, of course, the leader of the AEW World Trios Champions, the House of Black. Andrade El Idolo seemingly is not finished with the AEW Trios World Champions. The 33-year-old regained his previously stolen mask on Saturday's AEW Collision by defeating Buddy Matthews in a ladder match. However, it appears Andrade still has a score to settle with the faction. He took to Twitter on Monday to call out Malachi Black for AEW All In. He said, quote, "I want the next one. I would like to see you face to face at All In London because you are European and it's with your people, Mexico versus the Netherlands." And he mentioned hashtag AEW All In. Now, Andrade's program with the House of Black has been a featured part of AEW Collision since the show debuted in June. He defeated Matthews on the first episode and Brody King via disqualification the following week. After his victory on Saturday, Andrade is now 3-0 since making his return. Of course, the two do have history. Andrade and Black's rivalry dates back to 2017 in NXT. Black defeated Andrade at NXT TakeOver Orlando on April 1st, 2017, and then took the NXT Championship from him a year later at NXT TakeOver New Orleans on April 7, 2018. Black then defeated Andrade for a third straight time 10 months later on SmackDown in the same building as their title match the previous year. Andrade and Black also teamed together at Full Gear 2021 in a loss to Cody Rhodes and Pac. So possibly we could be getting that match maybe at London's Wembley Stadium. Is that a match you're interested to see, or should Andrade move on to a different feud now that he seemingly has his mask back for good? Finally, Samoa Joe is getting a lot of praise for his role in Twisted Metal on Peacock, but he was edited out of a commercial during Monday Night Raw last night on the USA Network, of course part of the Peacock family owned by Comcast. After an interesting graphic and trailer for Peacock's new series Twisted Metal aired on Raw that certainly didn't feature Samoa Joe, the man himself has reacted. On last night's Raw, a promotional graphic was shown for a new Peacock show that to an untrained eye may not have seemed that remarkable. However, if you've seen any of the other images or adverts for the show or are an AEW or Ring of Honor fan, you may have noticed one integral character's depiction was missing. There was no sight of the Samoan submission machine, the current Ring of Honor World Television Champion, Samoa Joe. Now, keeping it jovial, Samoa Joe may play the frightening Sweet Tooth in the series, but he didn't seem too upset about the fact that his character was very clearly cut out of the promotional images and the clip that was shown on Raw. Samoa Joe tweeted after the Twisted Metal advert aired, conspicuously wiped of any sight of his character despite being prominently featured in similar graphics and clips elsewhere. Joe writes, quote, "Y'all know," with some laughter emojis. Now, WWE has a bit of a known history for beginning to phase out mention of former stars once they leave the company, until they return, that is. Elsewhere on last night's Raw, as mentioned, there were plenty of adverts for the likes of SummerSlam and Twisted Metal, but no mention of Samoa Joe in, obviously, the Twisted Metal stuff. Now, what do you feel about that? Do you really care that much? Do you think it's petty by WWE? Should Peacock, the people that paid Samoa Joe to act in the show, should they be saying, look, he's a major character in the show, let's focus on him, let's allow him in it? Or is it just WWE again being WWE, and is it not a big deal? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And have you watched Twisted Metal? I haven't, but I have seen people say it's a lot of fun. Did you play the original game? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, as always, in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. That's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.